Let's get into another Meltdown Countdown. I assign a topic of 5 things that is returned with a list that is always impactful and meaningful. And I know that EG has put in the time on this one, and my task for you is a little bit convoluted. So I'm going to try to explain it as simply as I can to the audience.
I think we can do it.
It is the holiday season. There's a lot of people making sort of last minute decisions on what they're going to get for everybody. I'm one of those.
You.
I've somewhat started
Yeah.
my shopping, but I'm not all the way there yet. I have asked EG to give us a gift giving guide for 5 different types of individuals that may be a part of your life. Okay. These are the 5 different types of individuals. There's the parental figures. Maybe it's your parents, maybe it's your grandparents, the people that raised you. That's one of the options there. There's a significant other that is a female, a significant other that is a male. There are kids. Sometimes shopping for the little ones can be a little bit tricky.
Yep.
And then there is one group that I think is maybe especially tricky, but we'll see if it ends up at number 1 on this Meltdown Countdown, and that is teenagers. What in the world are you supposed to get teenagers this day and age? EG is going to fill us in on some tips for all of these different types of individuals that you may still be shopping for right here at this very moment. EG, did I do a proper explanation there?
I think so.
Okay. So, how did you approach the list?
Yeah. So I love gift giving. I consider myself to be a fairly good gift giver. And I approach this with helpful hints that will help you be a better gift giver to these groups of people. And some of them are obvious, some of them you need a reminder of, and some of them you may not have really considered, if you will.
Okay.
So we're going to get into it.
Yep. Let's start off with number 5.
Number 5 being the easiest to buy for on the list. And that is
Kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kids. They're easy, but I'm going to show you guys a twist on it, if you will.
Okay.
But my first point is ask the parents what they want/need for their kid. Now, you may say, but EG, that's not fun, or the parents know more than you. So, for example, if you want to get them the latest and greatest toy, how do you know that Santa Claus is not already bringing that?
That is
And
correct.
you don't want to ruin the magic.
That is correct.
So, always consult the parents first, because that also leads me to my next point. Screen time is sensitive. So don't be the friend, aunt, uncle that gets the kid the little tablet or like a game for some sort of screen, because you never know what the parent's stance is on letting their kids watch TV, watch movies, play video games.
But EG, what if you're a funt or a funkle?
Well, that is why you ask the parents beforehand, and you can still be a funkle or a fan.
Oh, it's fant.
Fant.
I messed that up.
Yeah,
I called it a funt. Funt does not have.
No.
We should sell shirts though that just say funt.
Yeah.
What are you? I'm a fun aunt.
Yeah.
I could buy that.
Would.
Oh.
Funkle and funt? Funt
Fant.
or fant?
Fant.
Fant is not as good. Funt
Funt.
works a lot better.
Yeah.
I hope the microphone's
Well, once,
picking up.
I
yeah,
do
Once
too.
again, I hope the microphone picked up every sound.
So, okay, my next point is don't buy something. I do too.
I think
I
that
do
there's a multitude of ways that did not work out for us.
There's a non-zero chance that we just got our channel age restricted.
No, let's not.
No.
For the
It is
kids.
for the kids. Don't buy something that you find annoying. Why are you looking at me like that?
I'm a funkle. That's the way funkles look. I'm listening to you.
I know, don't
Keep
eager.
presenting.
I'm still presenting. Okay, don't buy them something that looks or seems annoying to you in the 5 minutes that you have the gift and the 5 minutes you're playing with the gift. If it beeps, if it boops, if it bumps, don't give it to the kid, because the parents will have to listen to that thing far longer than you will. Can you agree as a parent?
I can agree.
Okay.
I can
All
agree.
right, my last
Can I-
point.
Can I just give one more
Yeah,
thing? I think you maybe have thrown this in there, but I may have lost it in all the Funkle Funt talk. So, like, don't give something to your niece or nephew that your brother or sister then have to work really
Yeah.
hard to put together a
Okay.
project.
That was in my honorable mention that apply for all of this. Don't gift a project or something that you have to get batteries for. If it requires batteries, buy batteries with it.
Right.
Okay. Include the batteries.
Yeah. It's tough enough sometimes just getting the packaging open on some of this stuff. It's like you have to get out the sharp knives for
Right.
that. And then to have to then
Assemble it?
assemble it all of Christmas Day, that's
No.
a nightmare.
If you're gonna buy something like that, assemble it and include batteries. My last point for kids, take them out. This is not only a gift for the kid, but for why are you laughing, Tyler?
Mhm. How are you taking them out?
Take them out for a fun play day.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
Yeah. It's not
go
like the movie Blank
no,
Check,
no,
Tyler. Come on, get
no,
your head out of the
golly.
gutter. It's not that.
Take them out. The parents will appreciate it. One of my favorite memories is going to World of Coke with my cousin when she was in college. I thought it was the coolest thing ever because, like, we had a day to ourselves and it was so much fun. And you can do it for relatively cheap too. That can be very cost effective. And the kid will remember that over some Lego set that they're going to lose all the pieces to and then the dad's going to step on.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, some solid advice there for sure. And age appropriateness is important. If
Of
you've never
course.
had kids, there's a big difference between what a 2-year-old wants and what a 5-year-old
Yeah.
wants. Like, even though they seem like anything under 5, is fair game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's at the number 5 spot. Kids, there's your gift giving
Yep.
guide on.
So if you're giving somebody the gift of taking them out, do you typically go for here are tickets for the kid and the parents, or are you volunteering to take?
Volunteering yourself.
I think that's a
Yep.
good play because otherwise you're making the parents, well, I gotta find a day and block out
Uh-huh.
the time now
Tyler,
and
you're onto
and
something
get into
because
traffic and everything
yep,
else.
that's one of my points coming up. So hold on to that thought.
All right.
Lots of great stuff in the chat here as well. Samuel says, just joined in. My family has started using Amazon wish lists, and I feel like it's the
Great.
worst thing ever.
Oh,
Yeah. I guess it's because
interesting.
there's this expectation that if you don't get something on that list, then you failed them somehow,
That's true. Yeah.
So there's like that weird expectation of like, okay, well, what do I get on here? And then do I get the cheapest thing on
Ooh,
this
I never thought
list?
about
Do I get
that. Yeah.
the medium thing? I don't know. And then Charles says all of our sons are older now and their tastes are expensive as hell.
That's the trade-off you pay for not having to assemble anything anymore. You no longer have to put together the play sets. Now you've just
Yeah.
gotta
Fork out
spend
the cash.
a few hundred, more dollars for the Xbox or whatever, and they will set that up.
Let's now go to number 4 on
Yep.
this meltdown countdown. And I'm going to guess that you went parents on this one.
Yeah, I
So
did.
far, I'm 2 for 2.
You are 2 for 2. Parents/grandparents. This is my rule of thumb, typically. There are some exceptions to the rule. Go sentimental over monetary value when it comes to your parents or your grandparents. What I mean by this is don't necessarily get something that, oh, all the siblings go in on it together. It's $300 and it's some sort of, I don't know, massage gun. Spend the $300 elsewhere because there comes a point where you want more experiences with your family than nice things, I would say. Again, there's an exception to that. Me and my siblings got my mom this plate that has her mom's handwriting on her favorite recipe
Oh my
off of
gosh.
Etsy. Perfect gift. Still a little pricey, but that she will cherish far longer than something else.
But e.g., what about all the heartless people that may be going, I'm not good at the sentimental. I'm good at buying the massage gun. I know exactly what
Yes,
aisle that's on, but I'm not good at pulling and tugging on the heartstrings.
and that's okay. My second point, purchase an experience that the family can do together or an experience that your parents can do together. Now, Lionel, this leads me down to my next point. Don't give them empty, like, hey, we planned this for you, but we don't have a date set. We don't exactly know what exactly you want, but like, here's some cash slash like the general idea. Cause that never gets done unless you actually execute it. It never follows through. Would you guys agree with that?
Oh, yeah. No, the planning is
Yeah.
always the hurdle that is the toughest at the end of the process to
Yeah.
make sure that that process is then respected.
e- Exactly. Nice. Respect the process. Plug there. If photos are important to the family, have your siblings, whomever, gather prior to the day of Christmas. This could be a summer thing. This you can really get ahead of the times here. Take a nice photo, frame it. Don't make your mom frame it or your dad, and boom, there you go. They will love that.
I think that's great. That's great advice, Tyler. I mean, EG's
Mm,
cooking right now.
That's great advice.
Great advice.
Great
Okay.
advice.
Thank you.
Let's move on to number 3. And
Okay.
I think now is when we start to get into the
Okay.
significant other category. And I'm going to
Yes.
say it's much, much easier shopping for a man than a woman. I'm going to say you've got a male significant other next.
Yes. Okay.
I'm 3 for
3
3.
for 3. Okay. So this is
It's scary
speaking.
how close y'all are getting.
I know.
Look at this.
Speaking to the
We're
ladies.
just a funt and a funkle.
We are spotting a funkle. Okay. They're actually a golfer.
Tyler's going to be so angry when we're demonetized. Anyway,
Yes.
please continue.
Yeah,
If they-
you already got us demonetized talking about your neighbors the other day.
Oh, God.
Did I really get
We'll
us
talk about that
We'll
another
talk
time.
about it later.
I have a feeling they're not on your
Yeah.
Christmas list.
really get us demonetized?
Yeah,
Oh,
you owe us
What
a
did
quarter.
I say?
We'll get into it
I guess
another
we can't
time.
say it again. Okay. Anyway.
Let's not do it again,
Yeah.
EG. Was it that got us in trouble the first time? I want to say it again.
Just do it. Okay. If your significant other that is a male, so this is to the ladies,
Right.
is actually a golfer, a tech lover, a sports lover, a video game player, etc., avoid, for the love of all that is good, Googling gifts for my golf boyfriend, gifts for my video game player boyfriend. 9 times out of 10, those gifts are either cheesy, they're not useful, or they're not for the actually above novice level
Right.
person in all those categories.
Or they don't have it already for a reason. They don't want
Yes.
that brand, or they don't need it,
Yes.
like, to accomplish what they accomplish in their hobby time.
Right.
So it's risky.
A lot of those like things that you would consider like just ready to go gifts
Right.
or like little niche hobbies like that, whether it's video game, golf, or whatever, they always just come off as tacky to me. And I always look at them and say, if somebody was like really an enthusiast of that,
They don't
I don't think they would want that.
or if they're actually good at whatever they're
That's true.
like
It's usually cheaper stuff.
yeah.
It's like beginner stuff.
Like, for example, my boyfriend is a golfer. He played in college. If I were to get him the first 10 items on like what to get your golf boyfriend, he'd be like, "Thank you, but like
No.
I'm never going to use this." So just keep that in mind. Like you mentioned, brands are important when it comes to hobbies. So while we may not know the difference between a set of gaming headphones, there is a difference. And I think it's appropriate because you're investing in something like that to ask what the difference is,
Right.
in my opinion.
The way you know you won is if you'll know from the body language when they first open it up, for sure.
Yep.
But then when they start asking questions, if they start saying, "Well, where did you get this from?"
Yeah.
Like, "Oh, how much did you
How
spend
much
on
you-"
that?"
Yeah.
Or if they start having inquisitive sort of takes on exactly how it is they get rid of this product in their life and back to the store so they can get what they actually want, you have
Mhm.
failed.
Exactly.
That is a failure.
Exactly. Now, for the men, needs based is not a bad thing. If you notice that he needs something, get it.
Mhm.
For example, need some new shoes. If you guys are going somewhere and he's like, man, I need a new puffy jacket. Great time to get it is Christmas.
Absolutely.
I think that's a great thing. Tickets to an event are always a good idea, whether that's a concert, a game, things like that. You can make a whole day out of it. But I think that's something that one you can look forward to. Now, granted, if you break up, oopsies.
This has
That's
happened.
happened to me.
Yeah.
This has happened. I know someone who got Taylor Swift tickets,
Oh, yeah.
and this happened twice to them. One time in a marriage situation, then in the marriage dissolved. The
Ooh.
other time, because the Eras tour lasted so long, the other time because they were dating somebody and they had planned on bringing this person, and it didn't. Neither one of them worked out. So there you go. There's a reason this person is a fan of Taylor Swift because all she writes is breakup songs. So it works out
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah. I mean, so you have to kind of take the gamble there. Now, hopefully, if it's a marriage, you have some more, foundational reassurance, but you never know.
Maybe if you never know,
Yeah.
pretty soon, the wife is off with her personal trainer going to your Eras tour.
Yeah.
And that can't actually happen anymore because the Eras tour is done.
But
But retroactively
it
in
could
this
happen.
situation, that's what we're going with.
Yeah.
Okay.
One more point
Slow
for the
dance
men.
into the Eras Tour movie.
Correct.
Yeah. This appears on 2 of my lists. Listen, keep a running list on your phone. You can do a little password on it of sizing, what
That's
size
important.
shirts, pants, shoes, sizing, color preferences, and in passing, we're like, oh my gosh, I really like this. Just write it down, and then you can refer back to it.
I think that there's a stigma
Okay.
that guys don't want clothing on Christmas. And I think it's incorrect.
I do too.
I agree.
I think guys, the older they get, the more they appreciate the clothing. And
Yeah.
especially if they know, hey, I can put this on and it's already spouse or significant other approved.
Already EG approved.
Right. If it's already approved, then all they have to do at that point is just make sure that it's pretty much unwrinkled and clean.
Yeah.
And then they're like, well, she's gonna like this because she got it.
Yeah.
And it is actually a relief when
Mhm.
you receive clothes in that
Yep.
situation. So for the ladies that are like, well, I don't know, I don't want my boyfriend or my husband to get upset that I just got him clothes when he's so into all these other things. It's actually a really good bet as long as you don't retroactively hate those clothes that you purchased for him for some reason.
Yes, and again, I think if you're gonna buy the clothes, have sort of a basis for what he likes and mold it with what you like.
Yeah.
So don't just if he never wears XYZ, don't gift him that. But if you're like, maybe he would look good in this, then you can ease into it. You know what I mean? You don't have to jump head first,
Right.
but just you can mold it.
One more thing,
Yeah.
just since we're on the topic,
We're here.
don't try to change. Don't use this as a way to change your man.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like this isn't the time,
No.
right? So
No.
like, don't buy me a bunch of Hot Topic. Well, no, I actually do like a lot of the
Oh,
Hot
really?
Topic
Yeah, I was
stuff.
about to say they got a lot of stuff you would
Okay.
wear.
No, I'm
just,
trying to
just in terms of like
correct.
graphic tees and
No,
hoodies.
you're right. That was a bad one to choose. I actually like a
'Cause
lot
if
of
I were
stuff.
trying to buy Mikey Hot Topic, he would break up with me.
Well, there you go. Now we both feel bad about our Hot Topic
No,
usage. No, it's
no.
okay. It's
It's
fine.
okay. I haven't shopped there since high
If
school. I'm
you
good.
guys
Insult it
received
all
a
you want.
set of golf clubs
Right.
or a golf thing, you'd be like, "Thanks, but, like, this is not what I do."
Right. I guess I'm just saying, like,
It's a
don't.
bad example.
No, you're good.
Anyways.
Don't try to use this as a moment where you're like, oh, I can finally get him to become someone he's not.
Okay, here's an example.
Yeah.
If your boyfriend does not work out, do not gift him pre-workout, workout clothes, and a membership to Orange Theory.
Oh, you know that that's happening though.
Absolutely.
That happens every Christmas.
For
People
sure.
start to.
Sounds like it happened to someone in EG's life. That was specific.
Oh, no, I just came up with that.
Oh,
That was
Call
good.
me a
That was
gift
good.
giver.
That was good. Okay,
Yeah.
let's move on to number 2, which I think is clearly going to be significant other female.
No.
Oh,
Teenagers.
no.
Yeah,
I've lost.
I know. I know, I should have lied and said, "No,
No,
you're
no,
right."
no. I appreciate you being honest.
Okay, teenagers. They're hard to buy for,
It should be number
and they're
1.
getting harder to buy for, but there's a cheat code. What is popular works. Brand focused. This is not the time to go to TJ Maxx or Ross Fresh Fresh.
Oh,
I mean, I was already feeling a
No.
little bit attacked.
snuck
No.
in a punch.
I was already feeling a little bit attacked, but now it's like, open wounds. It's
I
open
apologize.
wounds. It's okay.
Similar listen, I would love a gift from TJ Maxx or Ross Dress for Less, but teenagers don't. The similar does not count here. They will know the difference. Now, you can get name brand steals at those places. Personally, when it comes to the teens, they don't care about what it looks like. They just wanna have what everyone else has. So, it doesn't matter what brand it is. If it's Nike, if it's Adidas, if it's whatever.
Can I give an example here of
Yeah.
something you're talking about? And I don't know, I know you're talking apparel, but hear me out. I think was it last year?
Stanley Cups?
Stanley Cups.
Oh, yeah, that's a
Stanley
good
Cups.
point.
Every teenager in my life was going crazy for these Stanley Cups. And I asked, well, do they do anything different than I have a Yeti, okay? I was gifted a Yeti.
Nice
This was
Yeti.
gifted to me by Spud at our holiday poker game.
I wanted that too because
Oh.
it had an Amazon gift card in it too.
I was so happy to get this, but I show up with my Yeti and they're like, "Oh, Stanley's what's in." And I'm like, "But I thought Yeti was in."
It
They're like,
used
"Oh,
to
no."
be in
And now there's something that's replaced the Stanley.
Owala.
Owala is now the big thing.
Yes.
Okay? I've got a 7-year-old daughter going, "I want an Owala." I was like, "You're not getting a koala." And she's like, "No, not koala, Owala."
Owala. Yeah.
And I'm like, "Well, I'm glad I was a Funkle because I'm no longer a fad." You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Know what you
I got
mean.
you.
So, with that being said
Tyler's like, "I can't get a word in
No.
during this."
yeah, you can just get one of the $8 cups from
Nope.
Walmart that's made in the
No.
same factory. I
can't.
know kids aren't gonna go for that
you
because that's not that doesn't give
Cool.
them the clout at school.
That's
But
that's my
I've got
point.
one in my cabinets at home.
Oh, yeah.
It
Functional.
works
Thing.
amazing.
No.
See, guys like functionality
Yes.
at a price that's reasonable.
Cost me $8.
Women and teenagers, especially teenage girls, they like status stuff.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
No, it's costly.
Yeah.
There are a million things at TJ Maxx in the water bottle section that would suffice. That would overperform a Stanley Cup. If it does not have the Stanley Cup, don't bother. Just don't bother. They'll hate it. Moving on.
This has made me less optimistic about my buying now.
I know.
Well, just buy her the koala.
A wallet. They're pretty cheap at Target.
We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. Okay, this one is a creative idea. If you're just like, man, I know I can't buy for my 15-year-old niece. I don't know what to get. Age-related advice. They may not appreciate it now, but it goes a long way. Getting messages gathered of best advice for when you were 16. This can be a better birthday gift, but if they're entering high school, if they're entering college, like first semester of college, have people in your life or their life that they would look up to. Give them a note of encouragement for this season that they're in. I think that stuff like that, I have items of little booklets of things that I've been given, and it's really fun to look back on. Now, attach a gift card to that because to Sephora if it's a girl, to like, I don't know where boys shop, teenage boys.
Hot Topic.
Okay, gift card to Hot Topic or Academy. Academy, that's
Yeah,
a great
Academy.
one. And yeah. But that could be a different twist on things.
Yeah.
If you're really not confident in what to buy, stick a gift card on there.
Look, I was watching CNBC this past weekend, and they were running a report about how y'all's generation is saving shopping malls because your generation wants to go to the mall and get the designer bags and post it on social media, and they want
Weird.
the in-person experience so that way they can have a physical bag. It's really, they said that the bags were a key selling point. So that way you guys could post what it is that you were bringing home with you, where if you buy it in Amazon or something, you don't get necessarily the merch to do that. And I was like shocked. I'm like, this is the first I've heard of this, because they were talking about how like brands like Abercrombie and Fitch are coming back due to y'all's generation and the generation below you.
Yeah, I knew that.
And
They were coming back.
why how is this, some of the trappings of my generation where we thought we had sort of distanced ourselves from our era of upbringing are now coming back as popular things, and I'm shocked by this.
Yeah, I definitely, I mean, I've never considered the whole bag posting thing, but it makes sense. Anything for a
Oh,
post.
and y'all's generation is running up the most credit card debt in the history of any generation before
Shocker.
it. So, I mean,
It's
is there a
true.
correlation? I think so.
Yeah, because
Absolutely.
they're
Yeah.
going to Louis Vuitton to get this bag, and they're walking out with the bag, flashing the bag, and they're getting mugged in the parking lot. Now you have no bag and you're in debt.
That is also correct.
Yeah.
My gosh.
Also,
Sad
all
American life.
these new companies that do the pay in 4 installments, have you seen them?
Oh, yeah.
Afterpay,
Oh,
dangerous.
they have gone crazy. Companies like Afterpay and
Uh-huh.
Affirm, their stock prices just keep going up
Yeah, they're
because everybody's buying stuff they just can't afford. But
I
it's like
knew.
I can do it in multiple payments.
Listen to
correct.
this. I knew a girl. I'm not obviously gonna name her name. I can't remember who it was. Paid for a Lululemon belt bag. It is $27, maybe, in 4 installments of Afterpay. Girl, if we can't buy a Lululemon belt bag and you have to do it in 4 installments, you don't need the belt bag.
I'm with
That
you.
is insane.
I think patience is important, but
Ugh.
you know what keeps feeding that sense of like I'm behind, I got to catch up and all this stuff? It's all
TikTok.
algorithm driven.
TikTok.
And your generation, I'm sorry to say it, is screwed.
Yeah.
All right.
What
Let's
about
move.
Gen Alpha? They're absolutely
Oh,
cooked.
yeah. Oh,
Who's
absolutely.
Gen Alpha?
That
That's
would
below
be
y'all.
that'd be anybody born like it's what 2012 and
Oh
after,
Lord, I would not want to be them.
like
Yeah.
just true iPad babies.
Yeah. Like they did this whole report about like 6-year-old girls that go on Sephora runs to try to mimic what they're seeing on these social
Yes.
media apps and stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like cutting down supply for those who are actually sort of
Shopping.
the target demo for that stuff.
Well, what's interesting, and not to go down this rabbit trail, but you guys know, like, everyone had an awkward phase. Most, like, all 3 of us did, I'm sure, at some point, like, where it's like, "Ooh, gosh," like, middle school, like, you just kinda look a little quirky, you
Oh,
know? You're
mine was like 3 weeks ago, and then I got a haircut.
Oh,
Oh,
well,
good.
yeah.
I feel like mine's still going.
All that to say, there it's interesting that because of what I'm speaking more to girls, young girls are exposed to with social media,
Mhm.
they're skipping the awkward phase because they're trying to look so much older at such a young age. So, like, the adolescence is kinda going away because
1000%.
you have all this consumption of influencers
Right.
that are s not yeah.
You have a template that
Yes.
previously you did not have access to,
Right.
minus the occasional people you'd see at grades above you
Exactly.
that also didn't have a template, so they were working based off of trends at the moment. And marketing is an interesting animal. All right.
Yeah. All right.
So that's a big, broad topic that we will get into in a further day. Are you ready for number one?
I'm ready for number 1.
It's obviously
Ladies.
the ladies in your life, those significant others that are the ladies. What in the world do you do for them? You helped me a lot last year,
Yes.
EG, because I was struggling over which direction to go, and you led me to the jewelry counter, and
Mhm.
it worked out tremendously. I was able to have that sort of ease of mind of like, I'm getting something she actually wants. I'm incorporating her into the process. It was a huge home run and immediately let me know that you would be painting the walls of this studio one day. And it worked out great.
I know. Oh,
So help those other guys out there that
yeah.
need that help.
Okay. So, this is my number 1 point when it comes to buying for your significant other. And this could go more into the wife category. Either way, number 1, do not buy replacements. If something practical broke, it is not the time to replace it at Christmas. If her vacuum cleaner broke, don't buy her a new one. Christmas gift, yay!
2 years ago, I bought my wife a vacuum cleaner.
Yo, don't do that.
2 years ago. I met EG basically a year ago. There's a difference here. I mean, EG helped me. She can help you.
Yeah.
It was a really nice vacuum cleaner,
Dyson.
though. It was a Dyson.
Actually, that's a little more acceptable.
It was like it was a really
Yeah.
nice vacuum cleaner. But the problem is, I made the mistake of not even getting her the vacuum cleaner she actually wanted. So we had to do a return.
Oh,
And anyway,
yeah.
so that sucked.
Well,
Vacuum joke.
oh, that was funny. I think, yeah, it was good. But I say all of this, and so there are cases where she may say and shake you, "Listen, I want the Dyson vacuum cleaner. By all means, get it." But don't assume like, "Oh, I saw that, her stovetop is broken, so I'm gonna pay for a new stovetop." Or I saw that I don't know, anything that's for practical use or that serves you, don't buy her a replacement for Christmas.
I would say stay away from anything cooking or cleaning with the way your list is going.
Yeah, but then again, but I say all this, if you're
Assuming it's not one of her hobbies.
exactly, because that could be the case. Like a KitchenAid mixer, I would love to receive that. But your wife may not, or girlfriend may not.
I hope Mikey's watching.
I know. B, do not, and this goes back to what you were saying, Lionel. Do not make her figure out the gift. Hey, I got you a spa day. No spa specified, no treatment, no date set. What? That's exactly what I wrote. That is not good.
Okay.
Don't make, similar to the parents, don't make them assemble. Don't make her plan her own gift. That's horrible. And that should be in life that anyone is
Right.
watching this. If you're planning a date, don't make her plan
Okay.
it.
Okay. I think we're on a very sensitive subject here, and I just want to make sure that I am speaking for all male kind. Are you
Okay?
ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So guys are terrified of screwing it up.
Yeah,
Okay. And they don't want to screw it up. It's not a goal of theirs to
for
mess
sure.
it up, but they're terrified and they don't know how much to include her in the process to make sure that they don't screw it up. Do you feel like women more often than not appreciate being brought into the loop on some of these things so that way it's done right the first time?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Now, with that being said, take the liberty on smaller items that you know she already likes.
Right.
No one wants to know everything they're getting for Christmas. But if it's a major gift, it's the spotlight. Loop her in. If you're getting her jewelry, say, hey, December 18th, you don't have anything to do. I already checked the schedule. We're going out to shop for your Christmas gift.
Okay. This is going to make me an awful person,
Okay.
but let me ask, is it okay and acceptable in a relationship to go, you don't have to get me anything if I don't get you anything?
Yeah.
Oh, that's perfectly fine. That agreement is okay?
Between two people?
Or do you feel like there's still an expectation for there's going to be something there on Christmas Day, obviously, you know?
I think it's very specific to the couple. Like if your girlfriend's love language is gifting, you say, "Hey, let's not do gifts this year."
Mm.
Mm,
So you're a believer in the love languages thing. 'Cause
yeah.
I read that book recently,
Mhm.
And it is a fantastic eye-opening sort of like you have to figure out who you're communicating
Yes.
with in order
Yes.
to unlock their treasure trove of closeness.
Yeah, and you can also avoid a lot of arguments that way too.
I agree.
So I think if you
Tyler's like, "I
okay.
gotta get my hands on this book."
It's a great
No,
book.
I like being single.
Oh, okay,
So
there we
Oh,
yeah,
go.
I like not having to stress about the
Well,
gifts.
if you
never
like being
mind.
single, don't read this book.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
maybe I'll check it out.
All right. But yes. So the gift giving, that's a personal agreement that a
Okay,
couple can come to.
got it. Okay, good. Good to know.
Okay, again, this was my point 3 on the men list, or excuse me, point 4. This is point 3 on the ladies. She will tell you what she wants, just listen. Keep a running list of sizes, preferences, etc. So, again, throughout the year, when you're driving down a road trip and she's scrolling on whatever, if she says something, write that down. Now, this is the thing that you do run into. Trend cycles are shorter than they've ever been before. So if you wrote that out in January, you might want to revisit it casually. Don't just assume that she still wants it, but just keep your ear open. If you ask, "Hey, what do you want for Christmas?" That goes a lot farther than just assuming, and then you end up with a bunch of stuff, you're like, "Where did this come from?"
I have problems picking out specific items even if I know the general category of what my wife
Yeah.
wants, like the vacuum, for instance,
Yep.
right? Well, which one of these? There's 1,000. I'm really envious of the car commercials where it's like, "Give her the gift she's wanted," and
What?
it's like the car with the bow out front. I'm like, who gifts a car to someone without them even test driving it or like
Mm,
knowing that that's the car they want? Or I feel like that could lead to a domestic
agreed.
dispute on Christmas morning if
Yes.
you're throwing a car out there and this is going to be your car, and it's like, okay, well, I didn't really
Mm,
want this, but anyway.
yeah.
Have you ever seen those like Sweet 16 videos where,
Oh
you
yeah,
know, cars sitting out there, bow on it. That's the wrong color. What is this?
yeah. I got paid to DJ a private Sweet 16 birthday party.
Oh God.
This was back in my DJing days, and no one showed up. Yeah, the girl was homeschooled,
No.
Oh.
and nobody showed up, and they gifted her a car, and it was just, like, 2 people there going, "Yay."
That is heartbreaking.
Oh, it
Was it
was
at least did she at least like the car?
they told me I could leave.
Oh.
That's how
Oh.
sad it was. Anyway, that's a whole nother discussion for a whole
Oh,
nother
that's
day, but
horrible.
it stuck with me, and I hope that,
Oh,
her
Mhm.
life ended up going better than her Sweet 16
That'd
birthday
be
party
so
did.
cruel.
Okay, any other tips
Um,
for significant other
for ladies,
females?
yeah. Ask for a list, do not assume anything, that goes ties in. Ask friends, ask her friends. That's appropriate.
And you know what? If word gets back, it's not the worst thing in the world.
No, because then you can also she can be like, "Ooh, no, you gotta steer 'em the other way."
Oh, I
Like,
gotcha. A
yeah,
mediator,
a
a
mediator.
gift mediator.
Yeah,
I like it.
yeah. So that's all. I hope people learn something. I think everyone can
Yes.
learn something from that list.
Excellent job. A
Thank you.
5-star meltdown countdown, and we appreciate EG very much for providing that. We want to remind you about a 5-star experience that you can have at MyBookie at mybookie.ag. We use promo code next round for that deposit bonus. A great time there. Make sure you sign up and bet and play absolutely anything, anytime, anywhere there with MyBookie. You will have a great time this holiday season. I promise you that.